Hey, 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 everybody. Good to see you guys. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to SoulPet. Let's go ahead and get started here. Let me make sure I've got everything in order. I meant to light candles. I did not do that. That's all right. We'll just set that aside. All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's say a quick hello, and then we'll do our formal introduction. Let's do Jody, welcome. Welcome to the Soul Pet community. We're going to talk about the Zoom call that I have coming up, and I'll Lee, Sharon, Luke's mommy, Sherry. All right, good to see you guys. It is great to have you here. We'll see who else jumps on. Feel free to say hello, Jody. If you want to share anything, any information about yourself, feel free. You'll find this is a very welcoming community. And for those of you who are maybe watching this the very first time, I'm Elaine. I'm the Animal Reiki lady. I'm an Animal Reiki master, animal chaplain, animal medium. And this channel, SoulPet, is, and I wish I could actually get the name SoulPet, but it's already being used, but not used, right? So it's already been taken by someone who doesn't even use it. So we have to work on that. You guys put the energy out there that we want SoulPet, the name SoulPet for this channel. This is a channel that's dedicated to helping people manage, work through, heal from, just deal with the grief of pet loss and from our beautiful animal companions. We use the word pet because it's the one that we're most familiar with, but we all know that they're family. They're our animal companions and our soulmates. They are our soul pets. And we talk about how we stay connected with them. We talk about loss. We talk about all kinds of things in terms of healing. And we also do a lot of woo-woo. We go down the rabbit hole. We discuss all things metaphysical, spiritual. No topic is off limits when it comes to helping us understand who we are, how much power we have, the relationship that we have with our animal companions that goes way beyond ownership of a pet. Did the air quotes. Ownership of a pet and what it really means to have a companion animal, because they generally, in almost all cases, cross before we do. And it leaves us feeling empty inside. But tonight, hopefully the topic that I'm going to share with you will help fill some of that void when it comes to feeling empty. We're going to talk about who greets our animal companions on the other side. I did a little mini video about this earlier this week. Inspiration from Lucy, as usual. My beautiful Lucy, Jack, and Winston on the other side. My primary inspiration for these videos, plus all of the beautiful animals that you guys have let me share time with and connect with. Excuse me, did I bring my water? Yes, I did. And I know, yeah, people get funky about drinking water on camera, but I have to. I just have to. Okie dokie. We're going to check some comments here real quick. For those of you catching for the first time, the way we do live streams here, it's all very informal, very casual, unscripted. I do a little bit of automatic writing to try to get my thoughts together, the inspiration that comes through to me. But otherwise, we're generally unscripted, and sometimes our conversations go in a whole different direction than we ever intend. But we like to spend the first couple of minutes catching up. And if you want to scroll ahead to like the 5-minute mark, that's usually where we jump into the various topics. So hello, Cheryl, Kathy, Caroline, good to see you guys. And it's so nice to have everybody here. So I am coming to you today from Wisconsin, where I will be for the next couple of weeks until I get myself to Florida. This brutal cold. I don't know if you guys are going through this. I think some of you are in the frozen tundra just like I am. It is so cold here. -31. Oh, it hasn't gotten quite that cold yet. We were below 0 today. It started out at -4. We got to a whole 1 degree, our high of 1 degree. But it's brutal. That's why I'm all kind of wrapped up in my blankie, because it's just, it's way too cold. I know, right? Oh my God, Kali. Craziness. That's crazy cold. I think we have crazy cold. That's like stupid cold. That's colder than I ever want to be. And I got locked out of my home today. My husband and I had a little bit of miscommunication, and so he locked the front door, which was supposed to stay open because I didn't have my keys with me, and the garage door opener, the garage door keypad froze solid. I couldn't get in. I was standing outside when it was -4, freezing my little tushy off. So yeah, I had an extra dose of cold today, but thank God for electric heaters, electric blankets, because I wrapped myself in one. There are people north of me that have been experiencing -60. Oh my gosh. No, I can't imagine. I joked. The reason that I'm in Wisconsin is because I need to be near my granddaughter. She is my life. and she's everything I do. So I moved to Wisconsin, and I joked, half jokingly, because I thought we were moving to Arizona. I thought that's where we were going, was Arizona. I would have been happy as a clam. But the kids ended up buying a house here in Wisconsin. But I jokingly said, "Hey, if they move to Saskatchewan, I'm going to Saskatchewan, because where May goes, I go." Oh my God! If it's minus 60 degrees in Saskatchewan, yeah, they'll just be coming to visit me in Florida. Okay. Won't complain about 20. No, Kathy, you have nothing to complain about. Nothing to complain about. We've just got this little mini polar vortex thing flying through. I know that even my family in Colorado is having the same thing. It's all just kind of traveling east. Sorry. Oh, you guys let me know. I just tapped my microphone by accident. Let me know if you have any trouble hearing me. No one wants to live in Saskatchewan. That's awesome. You were born there. But let me know if you can or can't hear me okay. I have my microphone plugged in again. And last week we had that funky tick, tick, tick noise. When I played back the video, I couldn't hear it. So just let me know if it was like, it could be me. It's so sensitive that it could be me. But Arkansas, 4 degrees. Sherry, no way. That is really a cold snap down there. Okay, thank you. Awesome. Yeah, I just like to make sure, me and technology, I wasn't born to do this whole tech thing. I would much rather be doing all of this in person. I love doing this ever since 2020, when I first taught myself how to really take advantage of technology so that I could stay connected, and ended up with an even larger community than I ever dreamed of. I love to do this stuff in person. I would much rather be like sitting in a room talking to you guys and just having a conversation, but neither here nor there. I'm figuring out little by little, every time that I do a video, it gets a little bit better. And sometimes it doesn't, but that's okay too. All right. So we are going to talk about tonight, who greets our animal companion on the other side of life. And the short answer is you do. You are the one who greets your animal companion on the other side of life. So how does that happen? What does that mean? That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what it really means to be a soul, not just to have a soul, but to be a soul. And that every living thing, yeah, we're going to talk about the nuns tonight, as always. Every living thing has a soul. And I am now coming to understand that includes every living thing, including trees and plants. I've really started to go deep into the plant consciousness thing, understanding. And I've been, I wouldn't call them experiments, but I've been working with my own plants to see if I can get some kind of response that will demonstrate for me that they are aware, that they have an awareness to them. It may not be at the level that we think. It may be different than what we understand, but they do. So we're going to talk about what it means to have a soul. First thing is, I don't want to forget this. For those of you who are official members of the SoulPet community, I would like to I want to start doing this monthly, a monthly Zoom call where we can all get on together so we can actually have a conversation. And you guys are also all invited to anything that I do in person. You are invited to. And that's, at this point, it's going to be, I took my calendar down because I was playing with it. Oh, it's across the room. Saturday, February, I think it's the 13th. I think it's February 13th. No, that's not right. I don't. Whatever that second Saturday in February is, I think Saturday, February 1st at February 8th. February 8th, I'm going to do a live event. Everybody is welcome. This is not, nobody needs to do anything crazy, except you have to provide a place to stay. I don't have any place for you to stay. Live event at the 3 Sevens Animal Sanctuary. It's right outside of West Palm Beach, which is more southeast, not as far south as Miami. It's a little bit above Fort Lauderdale. It's between Fort Lauderdale and I don't know what a Stewart, I think, is to the north. I can't think of what else. But anyhow, you guys will all be invited to that. We're just going to hang out with all the sanctuary animals. But the Zoom call, I'm going to do this Saturday, January 25th, live Zoom. I want to start doing them once a month for all the channel members. That is my commitment going forward. So my friend calls this throwing a verbal. When I say something, I have to do it. So starting Saturday, this will be our January, and then we'll have a February, and at once a month, we're all going to meet as a group. And the Zoom calls are low pressure. I picked Saturday because it's a day that I think I can that the most people will have the availability for me. But we can play with that. It does not have to continue to be Saturdays. I can do Sundays. I can do evenings. The only evening that's for sure not available is Monday evening. So we can work on the timing of that. But I posted in the community tab, all of the members got a little post that gives you the link to the Zoom call. And if you're not a member yet and you would like to be, you can go ahead and sign up and you'll have access to the Zoom link as well. We're just going to get together for a casual conversation on Saturday morning where we can talk to each other. And I know that there's a reason why we use social media. There's a reason why we do things online. There's always a little bit of social anxiety and people feel uncomfortable talking on camera. I want you guys not to worry about that. Look, I'm the classic example. I don't worry about that. It is what it is. I got wrinkles. I've got wrinkles. I don't always do my hair. Whatever. It does not matter. And you don't have to say anything if you don't want to, but it's a great way for us to get to know each other. I've gotten to know several of you, Sherry and Sharon, just to name a few, that we've gotten together on these calls in the past. And I must get a hold of you guys. Who haven't we seen in a while? Kimmy Cat. So I'm going to be reaching out to Kimmy Cat to see see what's going on with her, and maybe we can get her on this Zoom call on Saturday as well. But it's a great way. LOL, the nuns. Look, I just started. There you go, live video. I get distracted by the comments. I go and read it, and I see that in Delaware it's 18 degrees. I think that in Florida right now it actually is kind of cold. I think it's like in the 30s and 40s. I think Orlando Disney World had some kind of big thing about how cold it was for the first time there. The nuns got the link. Oh, fantastic, Sherry. Awesome. Set your Alexa to remind you. Fantastic. Okay. And let me see if there's anything else. I used to be like that when I was younger. Now I don't care, right? It does change. I think there's a couple things, and this will kind of lead us right into this topic. As we age, it becomes less important to be perfect. As we realize that even when we were trying to be perfect, we made mistakes. And sometimes we made some hefty mistakes. I can think of some things in my life that I would have absolutely done different when I was striving for perfection. And now I realize I just want to live. I just want to live. I just want to enjoy. I just want to have fun. I do these Monday night live streams because I love connecting with you guys. Yeah, there's a purpose here. Lucy inspired me. I am inspired. I was inspired to become a chaplain. I want to be able to help people through the healing process. But more than anything, I love having this community. I love having you guys here. I love connecting with you guys every Monday, and sometimes more than Monday. We get together at other times. So it is great to see you guys. Yeah, Kimmy Cat. All right. So we have just put it out there. We have put it out there into the field of intelligence. We have all gone, Kimmy Cat, she's feeling us right now. Her ears are burning. There's a reason why our ears burn too when people are thinking about us. All tied into our little topic for today. So the topic that I want to talk about today is, it came up because somebody did ask me, and I get the question a lot. I get a lot of the same questions, but they come up from people on different parts of their journey. So some of us have been on this journey for a couple of years, others or more. For others, this is all brand new to us. So I get the question frequently, is my pet all alone on the other side? Does she feel abandoned? Was there anybody there to greet her? A lot of times I get asked that as a trick question. I do these readings for animal companions, and they want to know who on the other side specifically was there to greet their animal companion. And I got to tell you that our animals they would much rather just give you beautiful messages of hope and healing. But anyhow, I was going to talk about being tricked, but I don't worry about that anymore either. I just put all that stuff aside and just enjoy myself. So we are going to talk about who is there to meet your animal companion when they cross to the other side. And I'm going to start, I do have notes here, but I think I would much rather start just by giving you my understanding and my perspective. Everything that I share with you, I have not had a near-death experience. I've once had an out-of-body experience when I was younger. I think most of you know that. I've told the story before, that I fell from a pretty far distance. I was playing with some older kids, and they were doing this jump off of some really high cement stairs. And of course, I had to be just like the older kids. I had to be just like the grown-up kids. and I jumped off, and I missed what I was supposed to jump on, and I went sailing down to the ground, smacked my head on the ground. I was out unconscious, but I saw from above being carried. Like there was a teenager who picked me up, and it was the weirdest sensation to be able to see from above that she was carrying me, and she was running and she's carrying me. And there was like two other girls with her. I remember their names. Marianne was the girl with long dark hair standing right next to the Margie who was carrying me. So they run across the street to my house. They're carrying me, and I could see a crow right next to me. Like I was flying, but I had no physical body. There was nothing there, but I could see this bird there. And I thought, wow, this is so awesome. I am going to fly away with this bird. I really was. That was it. I was done. I'm like, oh, all right. See you later, little body. Me and the bird, we are flying away. And then as soon as I remember seeing my mom's face, and I remember her coming to the front door, and then there's an empty spot when they walked into the door where I didn't see anything. I could just see the top of the metal awning that was over our front steps. And then as soon as they laid me down on the sofa, I was right back in my body. I was no longer with the bird. And it was the oddest thing. The reason I tell you that story is just for a near-death experience. There are lots of YouTube channels out there now, lots of them, that are talking about near-death experiences. They interview people who have, and they shouldn't even call it a near-death experience. They've had a death experience. Something has happened where they were physically dead, and then their experience when they went to the other side. So I was right there, still in the physical world, flying, but not. I hadn't like gone through any tunnel. I hadn't seen any spirits. I hadn't received any message from a god or a higher being or anything like that. But lots of people have. And I would suggest that you do go check out some of those videos, because they tell really interesting stories and very similar stories. And it leads into what I feel about the soul. So although I've not had a near-death experience, I have a really solid personal understanding of what it means to be a soul. And that's what I want to share with you, because my personal understanding, and that's all I can give you, is that our soul, the greater part of us, resides not in this physical body. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But I see some comments scrolling by, so I want to read them. I noticed that every week. Who is that person? Kimmy Cat. I have to remember Kim. She did send me an email a while back, and I have to go back and find out. I didn't think anything was wrong. I think it had something to do with a work schedule, or there was some kind of conflict in the scheduling. But I will personally reach out to her to see if she's okay. Acknowledges them, but then that's it. Uh-oh. Who did I miss? That's all they ever say. Oh, yeah, right. You look 18. I'll take it. That's whoever you are. Robbie Dill, I think. You look 18, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much, even though I know it's not true. But I accept all of these beautiful lines and my aging and my hair that's turning gray. I'm looking forward to the day when it's all gray. I'm really kind of interested to see what my hair's going to look like. Hi, Jody, the other Jody. Magnificent sales. Wonder if the birds my cat ate. Greet. Yes, it all has to do with having a soul. And there's no, when we think about animals and their relationship to each other, cats and dogs, birds and cats and mice, even if you want to go broader, antelope and lions, a fish and a bird of prey, all of those relationships between animals are meant to happen here. The trauma does not exist. It just doesn't exist. We think it exists in our human mind. It does not exist between animals. You can watch a show. Who's the guy's name? David Attenborough, whatever the nature shows are, and they'll show you the coyote or the wolf stalking the rabbit. And then if it's a lion who's stalking an antelope, there will be all kinds of like music that gets you drawn in, and then you'll hear the antelope screech. Now, I was actually physically present and saw a hawk scoop down and grab a rabbit, and I heard the rabbit make a noise that didn't seem natural to me. And I associated that with trauma. But really, there is no such thing. When that it's a perfect, it's the way the universe is meant to be. The universe has set that up here for us. And the universe, as we talked about last time with the animals who were in the fire, the universe takes care of her own. The universe will care for all of those animals. So we don't have to worry about that. But yes, those birds are there. My Winston chases birds. When I do my meditations and I ask to connect with Winston, he's in the same place every time, running on the beach because he couldn't hear in life. He can hear on the other side. He runs on the beach and he chases the birds just to hear them squawk. And he chases them and he runs down that beach and the birds fly up in the air. And it's one of my most fun meditations is to connect with him running down the beach. So we're just going to keep on going. Arctic blonde. I love it. Arctic blonde. That's fantastic. Yep. And you know what? You don't need to see it. There's so much about television shows that I'm just no longer interested in. I have no space for violent movies. I have no space for guns. I have no space for any of it. It's just gone. For whatever reason, it's gone. I was watching a show today, not to get off the topic, but it is still a little bit on the topic. I was watching a show today, a podcast. I watch lots of podcasts. I love spiritual podcasts, metaphysical podcasts, all kinds of things. This one guy happened to be talking about the culture that that we are growing out of, which was all that we needed things. We were coming from a culture of lack. And that's where Amazon came from, because we needed things, and more things. We needed this, we needed that. And now people are realizing that we don't need the clutter. And we're decluttering. If anybody else is experiencing this, I don't see Kelly on this evening, but we've had long talks about this. We've had long talks about the need to just declutter. There's no need for half the stuff that we have brought into our homes. And when my husband and I moved into an RV, we completely decluttered. Nothing felt more freeing than having just the things that really meant something to me. And this gentleman on the podcast was saying he called it personalized something. I can't remember the name he called it, but it means now when we bring something into our homes, once we've decluttered, it's meaningful. We no longer need shelves of books like this. In the old time, I would have had my bookcase full of books from top to bottom, and half of them I never would have read. I would have just put them there because I thought the title sounded good or I was supposed to read them. Now I only keep the titles that are important to me. I only keep the books that I've read from cover to cover again and again that are dog-eared and highlighted. So what does that have to do with our soul? Because we are evolving. Our collective soul is growing. We're growing up. It's like we were teenagers, or maybe we were 20 somethings. We were 20 somethings, and we were all very self-centered. And now our collective soul is growing. It's why we have communities like this. We are not the only community who does this. We are one of the only communities focused specifically on our animals crossing to the other side. But there are so many metaphysical, spiritual communities out there now because we are all searching for this. And specifically, we're going to relate this part about the soul to our animals. So this is how I understand it. I like my stuff. I said what I said. I've still got it in for the eagle that swooped. All right. I want to be one of the ospreys who comes there. All right. So let's let the comments go. I'm not going to look at them for a little bit while I explain my perspective on this. So we have a soul. We are a soul. We don't just have a soul. I was taught we have a soul. And the nuns taught, and the priests in Catholic, I'm a recovering Catholic. I went to 8 years of Catholic school, and I don't know how many years from the time I was born up until the time that I finally walked away, indoctrinated into everything. And part of that indoctrination was that animals did not have souls. Only human beings had souls. And when I look back at that now, I think, oh my gosh, how human-centric is that, to think that we are not only that we're the only ones who have souls, but also like that there's nothing else out there in the universe, this amazing universe that keeps on growing, that expands forever and ever and ever and ever. And they keep finding more planets. We're now up to 12 planets. I don't know if anybody knows that. We're up to 12 actual planets, 3 of them, Pluto, and the 2 whose names I can never remember because it's not something that I had to learn. They're called dwarf planets, but they're all planets in our solar system. We're one tiny little solar system. There are billions, billions and billions. Who said that? Carl Sagan? Billions and billions of stars and solar systems. And to think that we are the only ones and that we are the center of the universe is a little bit amusing now that we know differently. Also listen to a podcast that said within the next 5 years. Oh, it was Bashar. If anybody listens to Bashar, listen to Bashar, who says that within the next 5 years, we will actually make contact. We'll see. We'll see. I'm very curious. Yeah, I'd be very interested in that. So the soul, as we know it, we are a soul. And there is, I'm going to try to put this in logical order. There's a universal soul. So the universe, whether you call it God, Buddha, Allah, the divine, spirit, whatever your higher power is, even if you don't believe in a higher power, then call it the quantum field or infinite intelligence. Whatever created all of this, wherever it came from, something started the Big Bang. Whatever that is for you is the universal soul. The universal soul became aware of itself. And that's the Big Bang. It just became aware and it knew everything. But can you imagine, just imagine what it's like to know everything, to be able to do everything, anything, whatever it is, before the thought is even finished in your mind, it's done. Abraham Hicks says it's as easy to create a castle as it is a button. To be able to, there's the castle, and we can't even imagine what might be on other planets that the universe is creating. But so boredom is the only word that I can say for it, like total boredom. Like if we think some days are pointless, can you imagine a universe who's got everything at any point in time, all created, all ready to go, and being unable to experience it? So this big, beautiful, universal soul decides that it is going to use this power, this knowledge, to forget. And I'm just going to use Earth for the example, but I know that there are other planets. I know like the Pleiades are one of those core planets where they believe there actually is another planet that is similar in environment to Earth that could support the kind of life that we have here. So we're just going to stick with Earth. So the creator says we are going to this beautiful planet called Earth, and all the things that have ever happened here, it gets created. And I'm really kind of fast. I'm not going to like touch on all the things like evolution and how but that's how part of it evolved, not necessarily evolution. It could have been aliens, who knows? But anyway, so we come into these beings. Sorry, I keep touching my microphone. We come into these physical bodies, and it's the universe has planted a piece of the universal soul into every single body, and it extends. So I like the analogy of an octopus. We have the body of the octopus, and then the tentacles extend, and that is the universal soul. And then with endless tentacles creates all of us. We are souls that are part of that universe. And then we choose, and we do choose. I'm not going to get into soul contracts and all that kind of stuff, but we choose to say we are coming to Earth. We want to inhabit a physical body so that we can experience a physical life that cannot be experienced anywhere else in the whole wide universe. This life, your life, my life, anybody's life, cannot be experienced by anybody else but us. And so we come into this physical body, and a piece of our soul is what comes to inhabit this body. The greater piece of our soul remains in the field of intelligence, or remains with the universe. The field of intelligence is what it is being called by science. The quantum physicists of the world are calling this the field of intelligence. If you would like more information about that, the gentleman who I love to listen to, his name is Nassim Haramein. Nassim. Even if you butcher the spelling, you'll find him. Nassim Haramein. He's a quantum physicist who is using science to prove the things that I'm sharing with you. They're calling it the quantum field. So the quantum field, the field of intelligence, is this energy that flows to, through, and around everything. It's not, there's not anything that isn't part of your soul, your cells are part of this field. You are part of the field. You're not in the field. You are the field. Your animal companions are not in the field. They are the field. Anything that has physical, from a paperclip, is part of infinite intelligence. It's just the energy has taken a form that makes it a paperclip. We have taken a form that makes us a living, breathing human being. Our animal companions take a form that makes them a dog or a cat. But the greater part of their soul, the greater part of our soul, remains in the field of intelligence. And that part of our soul, I'm going to go a little bit deep for you on this. And you can please feel free to push back. I don't mind like the questions. I question everything. Critical thinking means questioning everything. Take nothing at face value until you explore all the things that start to make sense to you. And when it resonates with you, that's when you know it's true. These things resonate with me. So the greater part of me remains in this field. And it's not, I keep pointing up here, but it's not up there somewhere. It's not like I'm not riding around on a magic carpet in heaven, looking down at me going, you shouldn't have done that, girl. No, it's the greater part of me is outside of my physical body. It resides in the non-physical. And it's the same with our animal companions. They also reside in this field of intelligence. When I just want to make sure I'm not jumping ahead of myself, organizing my thoughts. When they cross and when we cross to the other side, we rejoin this little piece of us that inhabits this body, is no longer animated in this body, but leaves the body and returns to the field of intelligence, to the rest, to what is our higher self. And I think that's why I encourage you to listen to the NDE, the near death experience videos, because that's what people talk about. They talk about how they knew there was no separation. They didn't even realize until, like me, they could see down. It's a most unusual feeling to be in heaven and be able to look down and see yourself and then be someplace other than in your body. So when we leave, when our bodies are done, whether it's by choice, that's a whole subject for a different day, because human beings are really the only ones who make a choice. Some of us make a choice to leave our physical body. Most of us, it's when our body is done. When our body is done for whatever reason, whether it is through old age or disease, or it's just our time, then we leave our physical body. Our animal companions have a shorter lifespan than us. I don't know the purpose behind that design. I just know that it is. I know what I think. I think that they come here to be a part of our life, to experience life with us, to know what it's actually like to live as a human being, so that when they leave their physical body, they are in a much better space to help us, because they understand us. They know what we're going through. And I'm going to look at questions in just a second. So if you do have questions, go ahead and post them, and I'll go back and do those. I'll go back and take a look at those. So they leave their physical body and they go to the other side. So a person says to me, but who's there to greet them? Are they alone? Do they get stuck between worlds? No, that is a totally made up Hollywood thing. There's no such thing as between worlds. There's nobody gets stuck. Even people don't get stuck. There may be some leftover energy from when they inhabited their human body, but they don't get stuck. There's no ghost who doesn't get stuck until an exorcist comes along and helps them move to the other side. It just doesn't work that way. There's no separation between the physical and the non-physical. And I'm going to take a little bit of that back, because the universe can do whatever it wants. The universe is all-knowing. God is all-knowing. God can do anything she wants. Anything. So if God says, I think we are going to hang around as a ghost, then it's perfectly, there are no limits, none, zero, no rules, no limits when we are talking about infinite intelligence. But we're going to stick with our soul and our animal soul. So when our animals cross, now I'm getting hot with this blanket. When our animals cross to the other side, we are the ones who greet them. They have always been with us. We have always been with them. You know that I say that all the time, and it's not just a saying, and it's not just a nice thing to think about, and it's not just, "Oh, I wish that was really the case." We have always been together, and it's part of the universe that is part of us that came here to inhabit a physical body, and we decided that we were gonna do it together, and they were gonna be our partner, and when they leave their physical body, when our animal companion dies, it is only their physical body that no longer works. Their soul instantaneously crosses into the field of infinite intelligence. There's no delay, there's no separation, and the person who is waiting for them, yep, sometimes it's grandpa. I know my dad loves all of my dogs. But beyond that, it's me. It's you. It is your higher self. It is my higher self who is waiting there to greet them with open arms and can't wait to like download everything with them, just to go through their whole experience and to love on them and to kiss them and to hug them and to hold them. And this came to me, this specific idea when I did the video earlier this week came to me because of Jack. If of all my 3 doggies, you guys know this, Lucy and Winston passed within a week, and then a year later, Jack passed. They were all seniors, so it wasn't like we were mentally prepared. We weren't emotionally prepared. But of all my animal companions, Jack is the one that I question. Lucy came to me, and we spent a whole weekend meditating, and Lucy had gone through a lot over a 6-month period, and I knew from her heart of hearts that she was ready to go, and when we assisted her crossing, there was no doubts in my mind, no question. Um, Winston crossed on his own, but Jack was 13, and he had mobility issues. He couldn't get up. He couldn't walk. His back legs had gone out on him. He was having some when the larynx gets paralyzed, he was having some of that so that they have difficulty breathing and that cough, if anybody's been through that with their dog. And one day he really couldn't get up. He just couldn't get up. But he didn't look at me with the eyes that Lucy gave me. And my husband and I and he sat together and we talked with our veterinarian and we made a choice. We made one of the hardest choices. And he is the one who I question. I think I often up until this week, I've questioned myself. So I don't ever share anything that I haven't been through myself. 3 years later, I was still questioning. I wonder if I made the right choice. I wonder if I shouldn't have just even if I had to lift his back legs up off the ground to walk him outside every day, if I should have done that. And I've told you guys the story about how he ran into the street and he couldn't run. And I was so sure he was going to be hit by a car. So all of those things came into play. But when I sat down to meditate on that, when it came up for the umpteenth time for me this week, when I sat down to connect with Jack, he is the one who said to me, you didn't do anything wrong. You did absolutely nothing wrong because the minute that I left the physical body, I was right there with you guys. I was right there with you and Dad on the other side. So my husband's higher self was there also. And Jack in this beautiful meditation just gave me the insight that there isn't anything that we have done wrong here in the physical involving them. Nothing. We are the ones who greet them on the other side. They are happy to reconnect with us. And then it goes on. It continues because our higher selves together can make choices again. When I've said this before about reincarnation, that we can sit down and ask our animal companion to come back because that's the kind of relationship we have. Well, it's like a triangle. It's me here in the physical. It is Jack on the other side. I'm using Jack as an example. Jack on the other side. It is my higher self on the other side. It is my husband's higher self on the other side. And we can have a group conversation to decide what we want to do. And if it isn't that interesting that perhaps it's Jack who left that brochure, which is out in the kitchen, left that brochure about the British Labrador retrievers. So I think that it goes so much deeper than we can possibly know. We're stuck in this little physical meat suit. We're stuck in this little physical costume that we're wearing, and we have to go through the things, and we're feeling it because we want to feel the emotions. We want to experience everything. But now we are starting to recognize, just like with TV shows, we recognize what is truly and most meaningful to us, and that's what we focus on. Okay, so I'm going to look at my notes in a second, but first I want to look at some questions. Are you guys talking about the nuns? I hope you're not talking about nuns having your hair pulled. Um, I got whacked, but you can be sure I never forgot again. The answer to 8 by oh my gosh, you guys, you are going off on the nuns. Yep. I tell you, I still remember the poor kid's name, Frederick Holton. Frederick Holton with the brightest red hair. That nun grabbed him by the hair and yanked that red hair, just came. Never forget it. That was Sister Mary Amoeba. She was all like 4'9", and yeah. I know you've covered this before, but when you get a visit from Jack or Lucy or Winston, is it a thought that pops in your head, or do you actually see them? That is a great question. It is generally a thought that pops in my head. I enjoy visualizing so I meditate, and I encourage you all, if you would like to go deeper into this, meditation is the way to go. You don't have to, you can, and I recommend going someplace quiet. It's not like you have to go into a cave and sit on a rock and eat mushrooms and hope that you have some mystical experience. You just go quiet. And we have lots of stressors in our physical world. I think we put them there for a reason, so that we can learn how to not let them stress us. But I do this one thought. This is the one thought that quiets all that other stuff, all the stuff that goes through my mind, I have to go get the air in the tire. I've got to go do this. I've got to do that. People are waiting for me to answer this email, but blah, 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 blah. When I sit down to meditate, I think one thought: there is nothing more important in the world to me right now than connecting with my animals. Nothing matters except me being able to connect with Jack or Winston or Lucy. Sometimes it's all of them, sometimes it's one of them. Jack and Lucy, though, we know are now one animal, Jack and Lucy. And I sit down and I quiet my mind and I breathe and I focus on my breathing and I just invite them in. And usually it's thoughts. I will just get a sudden understanding that I didn't know before. So this time with Jack, there was not a visual. I sat down and I was thinking about Jack and I was ruminating on it, literally ruminating, just pushing it back through it, going over and over and over and over in my mind, all the things, trying to find that little nugget of something that would make me feel relief from questioning whether or not I made the right decision. And that's when a thought literally pops into my mind. I call it a download. I just have a sudden understanding that I didn't before. And that was the understanding. And right away, I knew I had to do a little video. I knew I had to share it. That's the other unintended consequence of these things. Thank God YouTube lets you do these short little videos, because I have to pick up my phone and do it. Where was I going with that? Oh, so it's usually downloads. Every once in a while, it's a visual. My most vivid visuals come through dreams. I don't ever look over. Every once in a while, I catch a little something running out the corner of my eye, like it's Winston. I just know that it's always Winston, just a flash of somebody running by. Jack and Lucy. Lucy came to me in a dream. Jack, I rarely see. So usually it's thoughts, but our thoughts come from this field of intelligence. It's all connected. It's all connected. This field of intelligence, our thoughts, there's no little part in your brain. There's no little compartment that holds a million thoughts and you open the door and out pops the one you want. The thoughts come from somewhere. They are in this field of infinite intelligence. Each of us has access to it. We have direct access to it. You can ask anything of anybody in the field. I used to say, I'm trying to get away from saying on the other side, because there's no other side. Anybody in the field, I don't care who you want to talk to, you can talk to them. I don't care if it's Joan of Arc. I don't care if it's your great-great-great-great-grandfather that you never met and you just happen to catch a picture of. It doesn't matter. You can get information from any soul in the field of intelligence. It's all there for you. You want to chat with Einstein? You may have a chat with Einstein. Einstein would say that he would hold these conversations. He would I always forget what he called them, thought experiments. He would just ask for thoughts. He would just go quiet and wait to receive the thoughts that came to him. It's the same kind of thing when you make these connections with your animal companions. You do not have to do anything special. You are not being deprived of a gift. There's not some of us who are able to do this and some of us who are not. There are some of us who say yes and say, okay, you know what? I'm all in. I'm all in. You can reach out to me anytime you want. I will not deny it. I'm all in and I'm ready for whatever experience that I can have. There are some people, some of us though, who are still culturally, socially, when we say socially awkward, that's what I want to start to refer to as socially awkward. Socially awkward being having to feel like you have to give in to whatever society says is the right thing to do. And more of us are refusing to do that. More and more people are disrupting the social norm. And I think our animal companions are jumping for joy because of it. That we don't have to feel when our animal companion crosses, focusing on what the purpose of this channel is, we do not have to feel that we've done something wrong. We do not have to feel that we've abandoned them. We don't have to feel abandoned because they are there. It's in a whole different, it's just in a different way. We don't have their physical body present, and that hurts. It hurts not to be able to scoop up Winston, who loved to snuggle right here. He would get this little silly smile on his face, and I would hold him right here. There is nothing like that physical feeling, but that's the feeling we came here for. We also came here to learn what it means to feel that feeling without the need to hold a physical body. If you can feel that feeling, that wonderful, beautiful, loving feeling of what it meant to snuggle my doggy, that's when and feeling is tied into all this as well. When we experience things, we are meant to experience through feeling. When you are trying to understand what it feels like to be healed, you have to feel it first. Feel what it feels like. I call it now having your heart touched, because that's what they do. Feel what it feels like for them. If you could just close your eyes, and I do want to do a little meditation. If we can get into, if there's time for it, I will. Imagine that your cat or your horse or your dog, either with their paw or their nose or whatever, they're touching your heart. What would it feel like to have Jack reach his paw out just to touch my heart? It would fill you with such a sense of completeness that alone will help you feel connected to your animal companion on the other side. So their souls, part of the greater soul, part of the universal soul, part of the soul who's got our back always, even when we think that we are like, that everything is going wrong. It's not going wrong. It can't go wrong. And all we need to do is ask and search for that feeling, and the feeling of healing. Poet, she didn't know it. Reach for that feeling of healing. Just let it flow into you. That's the other thing that I got to. The other question I got was, or the other piece of information was, let the healing happen. Uh-oh, my light just went out. Hang on, let's see if I can turn it back on. It doesn't make too much difference. There we go. Let yourself be healed. You don't have to do any of the work. There isn't any work to do. You can just let yourself be healed. And let your higher self and let your animal companions on the other side, let them do it for you. You don't have to do any of the heavy lifting. That's one other thing. I'll just mention this real quick. In the metaphysical spiritual awakening world, we are taught you have to go onto the dark side. You have to call out your dark side. You have to do all the shadow work. You've got to, yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I release it. I release it. I let the universe take that from me. Whatever my dark secrets were, whatever things that I think I've done wrong my whole life, whatever it may be, whatever the nuns were telling me I was doing wrong, whatever sins I had to confess when I went to church, gone, 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 gone. I leave myself only open for love. You can be healed that fast. Healing does not have to be a time-consuming thing where you first got to go inside and dig deep and bring up all the dark stuff. I release it. Release the dark stuff to the universe and let it be healed. Give it to the trees. That's the other one I did this week, was for the trees. Okay, quick drink. I'm going to look at the comments. I have to scroll back up a little bit. Did I miss saying hello to anybody? Donna, I think I might have missed you. Hello, Donna. Hello, Jeannie. Luke's mommy. Fatima. Z. Hello, hello. Uh, Z is the one who said, I knew it. Look, I wrote these 2 comments down on the top. So I've been typing out my notes because my handwriting has become so hard to read. I think that's a thing too, but I wrote up here 2 people said 2 things to me. One said, I really hope that what you say is true. And the other one said, I knew it. 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 For the person who said that I hope that it's true, please know that if you even feel it in your heart, the littlest bit, it's true. If you even had to say that, you know that it's true. Let yourself, just as you're falling asleep tonight, just let yourself know that you've got a whole team, and it's not just you and your animal companion. You're an angel. You're more than just your higher self. You're an angel, and you are there for other people too. You are there to help anybody. Anybody who reaches out to you that you think that you might not have the space to help, your higher self can do it. You can turn the job over to the angels. Let them do it. And you're one of those angels. And then there's the person who said, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. That's what it means to feel like when something resonates with you. When I share this information after I've done, because I do all the research, I love to dig in deep. I love to go way down the rabbit hole. When it resonates with me, I just know it. And I say the same thing. I knew it. I knew that was the way it worked. I've guessed it all along. And I second guessed myself because I've been culturally conditioned to think that it wasn't true, but it actually is true. All right. Who else do we have? The level of comfort. Yeah. That's Luke's mommy. That's why I was called to do that little video right away. I had to go do like the brief video because I knew that that it would resonate with people, that you'd find it meaningful to know that they weren't alone. You were there for them all along. You've always been there for them, and they're there for you too. My higher self met my dog over a month ago. Stuck in the meat suit. That's what that's like the thing that everybody says, the meat suit, this wonderful little costume we picked for ourselves. Miss him so much. Right. It does hurt physically. It does hurt. There's a physical longing there for that contact, and that the living thing that loved us for exactly who we were. That's the other reason why I think there's unconditional love. They know us. They know us inside out, backwards, forwards, upside down, because they know who we are on the other side. They know that this is just like a little game that we're going through down here. They know who we really are. And that's why they love us unconditionally here. That's why they don't care about any of that, anything that we think they care about. Love getting downloads. Yep, downloads. Get them often for other people. That's okay. I get them for other people too. And I would love to be able to teach everybody in the whole wide world how to get them for themselves, but that's not part of the experience. We're here to kind of figure this out for ourselves too. But yes, I do get downloads for other people. And sometimes I get downloads that I don't even know what they mean. And I have to write them down and figure out that it'll make sense to me at some point. But when we're all still learning and growing, and it's a beautiful experience. Never remember my dreams. Wish I would. We did an episode, Z. We did an episode on dreams 3 weeks ago that I called it dream incubation, and how to really set yourself up for remembering your dreams. And it starts by having a journal by your bed. And even when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do before you even go pee, you write down the first thought that pops into your head, because even if you can't remember the dream, oftentimes you will remember the message that your animal companion wanted to give you. Buffering. Oh, okay. I hope you guys aren't buffering. Who knows? Because we got the one thing I didn't get to tonight, which I thought that I'd get a chance to look it up ahead of time, was the planetary alignment. There's a whole lot of astrological stuff going on right now, astronomical as well as astrological. The planets are all lined up. So it was the second thing. The first event this month was the full moon, the wolf moon that we did last week. And then now it's the planets aligning. Dying to tell you the story of how I know what you're saying has to be true. Well, if you can join us on Saturday, you can tell me the story, because on Zoom we can all talk together, or connect with me on an email. readformypet@gmail.com. The Lucy Moon. Yep, the absolute Lucy Moon. Okay, let me check my notes because we are going close to an hour now. I didn't have a reading for tonight, but I was going to pull a card in case that was going to make sense for anybody, but I did not have a specific reading to do tonight. And here's the other thing I want to do for you guys. I want to start these now. YouTube is doing a really cool thing. It was these little 60-second videos that you could do. And it was hard for me. It's hard for me to get succinct. It's hard for me to stick to 60 seconds for shorts. And now it's 3 minutes. And I thought what I might try doing is every day, it takes a little, I might not be able to do it every day, but I'm going to say every day, do a 3-minute video that's a reading for an animal companion. And I would start with members. So if you guys want me, it doesn't matter if I've done a reading for you before. I want to start taking advantage of these little 3-minute shorts that I can do for you guys. And we'll do little readings. But let me just check my notes here. So I told you the story of Jack and the concept of the higher self, and I can't wait to hear Z. My maiden name begins with a Z, and everybody used to call me Z. And if there's lots of people in my family that still refer to each other as Z. So my dad's name was Mr. Z. So how interesting is that? So maybe you can jump on. Yeah, good. All right. I think that would be awesome. And I love to get to know people. I love to get to know everybody through Zoom. And there's no, I don't care. Come in your pajamas, come with a glass of wine, whatever, a glass of wine. It's going to be 10 o'clock in the morning, but hey, if that's what you want to do. The higher self was there. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Let's do this real quick. If you are in a place where you can do this, a PJ party, yep. If you are in a place where you can do this, if you're not in a place, come back and do this, because I'm going to ask you to close your eyes to get the feeling. This is just to get the feeling. So if you're in a place super fast, it's only going to take a minute. I want you to close your eyes. Get comfy wherever you are. I always like to say, let the chair do its job. You don't have to hold yourself up. Let the chair hold yourself up. Nobody's watching. Let your gut hang out. Let your butt hang out. Just be yourself. Let the chair hold you up. And take in a nice deep breath. Breathing you're breathing in more than air. You're breathing in the field of intelligence. You are breathing in. No matter where we are in the world, Canada, I have people that watch from Sweden. I have somebody who watches from Greece, England, all over the US. Just breathe in. We're all breathing the same air. There's no such thing as geography. There's no such thing as time and space. Breathe in the air with me and know that you're breathing in the universe. Breathe it in, and I want you to focus on your heart space, right in the center of your chest. If you want to touch it, if you want to tap it, that's fine. I like to touch my heart space. And I like to sometimes play with that, and I like to think about what it feels like if I was my heart. How would my heart feel to have my fingers just touching it, like feeling my fingers from the inside out? And I want you to call to mind your animal companion, the one who's crossed to the other side. And if it's more than one, pick them all. Doesn't matter. Pick one, pick them all. I want you to call them to mind. And I want you to think about their face. I want you to think about what they did the moment that they left their physical body and realized that you were there waiting for them. I want you to feel what it feels like to know that they could just run and jump right into your arms. I don't care if it's a 1,500-pound horse. I want you to imagine what it feels like when the second that they realize that you were right there for them. What did that feel like? What did it look like? Did your dog have a goofy smile? Did your cat just want to give you a head bump and start purring like crazy? What is that feeling when they realized that you were standing right there waiting for them, that there was absolutely no separation? That's the feeling. That's what you can hold on to. That's what you can go for whenever you are feeling a time when it's kind of low or a time when you think that you're hurting. Go for that feeling, and then you'll make a connection. It'll be instantaneous. And that's it. And you can open your eyes. That's all you just conjure up that feeling. Let that feeling be in your heart, and something shifts when you do these things. It's like the field itself shifts. There is a change. There's all kinds of spirituality videos out there about, capturing the feeling, and there's Neville Goddard, and there's Abraham Hicks, and who are some of the other ones? I can't even think of them all. That all talk about that you've got a feeling is the secret. Um, it's easy. It's easy. It doesn't take anything. And here's the other thing: you and your animal companion and your higher self, you you have a vibration, and you don't even have to guess what it is, because you are always it. And when you let that feeling into your heart, you have, another contemporary saying in the spirituality world, you've raised your vibration. You have created a frequency, a vibration. You've created something in the universe that's never been there before. You opened a door, essentially, to connect with your animal companions, and they will jump right in. They will jump right in, and you can talk to yourself about you and your animal companion cooking up a sign together. What would be the sign that you really want to see? Do you want to see the shooting star? Do you want to see? Do you want to see what you never see? A bunch of cardinals together. You only ever see like one cardinal together, right? Do you want to see a whole different bird? Somebody reached out to me earlier this week. Somebody in a different meeting was saying that they saw for the first time a purple finch. I've never seen a purple finch. So I say to myself, I want to see that. Jack, Lucy, Winston, come in as a purple finch. When I walk out the door tomorrow, let's see a purple finch. I'll tell you guys if I see that. I'm so glad that that helped, guys. Soul Dog on the other side sent you to me. Uh, and I believe that they've all sent you to me. We are in this together. We are totally in this together. I don't say this as a, I can't even think of the word it is when you're not being honest, but with integrity, with total integrity, I believe that our animal companions on the other side of life have orchestrated this whole thing, because I don't know where I came up with. If you were to go back to my 16-year-old diary, there would be nothing in it about when I'm 60, I won't be able to wait. I can't wait till I can talk to animals on the other side of life and help people heal after their animals cross. Wasn't even nothing even remotely close. So I believe that it's been orchestrated by our animal companions on the other side. Okay. All right. So you guys, if you would like to become a member, all of the members will be getting together this weekend on Saturday, if you can. If you can't, reach out to me and let me know, and I will try to schedule a different day and time for February so that everybody has a chance to get together. I will also reach out to Kimmy Cat. I'm supposed to say, I do like to say, if you know anybody at all who would benefit from these videos, please encourage them to watch, or bring them on. Encourage them to come to attend a live stream on Monday evenings, and recommend that they subscribe, because the more people we can get watching this channel, the more messages we can get out. I personally, not because it has any, there's nothing about my ego that wants this. I want to be able to get this out there to as many people as possible. We have close to 7,000 subscribers on this channel. I would love to get that to double digits. I would love to see it, I would love to see this channel explode like all the other goofy channels. Like there's a Costco channel, a channel only about Costco shopping that has like 2 billion subscribers. Really? Really? Well, perhaps all of those who are pet owners would like to come watch this channel. Anywho, so is there anything else? I think we've got Elaine's diary at 16 was about the nun. I think I'd written off the nuns by the time I was 16, but I did go through a whole lot of guilt, and raising kids initially by going to Catholic church and making them have nuns. Yeah, there was a whole lot of guilt tied in there, but no, we're all over that now. Okay. All right, my friends, it was great to see you guys here. Thank you for joining me. As always, I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. And I will talk to as many of you as I possibly can on Saturday. And until next week, may animals light your way. Take care, everybody. Wait, please see the question that Fatima had. Okay, hang tight. Not going to close yet. Not going to close till I go back up to Fatima's question. It's live stream. We can do whatever we want. Would you do another reading for Logan? Absolutely. The Zoom link, it's posted if you click the community tab, it's a members only post. And I put the YouTube in there. I put the Zoom link in there. Boop, boop. Do our animals get confused? No, they don't get confused. We'll talk about that more on Saturday. Okay, I can't find a question from Fatima. I've scrolled all the way. Here we go. What is the difference between meditating to see or imagine our past loved ones and just talking to them as if they were all around us? Nothing. There's no difference. No difference whatsoever. We put all of this weight on the word meditation. Meditation does have its place. Meditation is when you sit down quietly and you set the intention, you purposely intend to um, to sit down and think of nothing but your animal companions, or connecting with another soul, or connecting with God or the universe. You're sitting down with that intention to be quiet, to go inside, which I recommend. I love going inside, just to go inside yourself, closing your eyes. You know, when you close your eyes, you can still see things, right? That's because it's not just empty space behind your eyes. It's not just the back of your eyelids. So there's a place for meditation. But talking like I do to my father all the time, I talk to Jack and Lucy and Winston all the time as if they're right with me too. I talk to my mother-in-law. I talk to my father. I talk to everyone. There, I have some very close family friends who have crossed years ago. I speak to them. I love to visualize my grandmother on roller skates. I know she would have been an amazing roller skater, and she was a smoker. I can picture her on roller skates smoking, and I talk to her like that. It's There's no difference. The souls on the other side of life will communicate with us however is easiest for us to do. So, there, bonus question. All right, my friends, have a great evening, and I will talk to you all again later. May animals light your way. Bye-bye.